Hey, what's happening? Welcome to Beers with Nigel. It's a podcast about beer and other things. My name is Nigel. Obviously, that's the title, right? And I've got a co-host.
That's me.
Mr. Nick Parker, Mr. Lee Summit Extraordinaire. How many podcasts do you do?
I have one that I do.
Okay.
And then I produce several others.
That's my point. That's why I've got him on my team, because he knows what the hell
I push
he's
the buttons.
doing. He just
I'm not going to hit the mic, but apparently I'm a shitty producer.
Don't smack the mic. You're a professional. So no, I just I wanted to do a podcast. Been thinking about it, and Nick came to me and it's like, hell yeah, let's do it. And so here we are. Why the hell are we doing a podcast? Well, mostly it's about beer, but it's about other shit too. I have a lot of shit on my mind. Nick knows that. We had a conversation the other day, and we talk about it. We talk about a lot of shit, not just beer.
Yeah, I think that was about 3 hours of everything.
There might have been some coffee and some whiskey involved.
Well, we do have a new boozy coffee joint in town.
Boozy. Let's call it boozy. So yeah, we're going to see where this goes. We're going to talk about beers, breweries, brewers. We're going to have some guests. We're going to do some live shit. We're going to do all kind of shit. But let's start with this. For those who are probably listening to this, probably kind of know who I am in the beer community. But let's find out who Nick is.
Uh-oh.
So
I'm the boring basic white guy.
You didn't have to tell him you're white. Oh, I guess it is video too.
There's a camera.
Oops. So where are you in craft beer? What got you into it?
I like beer. Look, I'm a kid of Kansas City. I grew up in Kansas City area.
Right.
I remember when Boulevard was new.
Right.
So that was the entry point to me of what is craft beer.
Right.
I was a kid. I remember when they first started, they had backpacks, little backpack kegs at Royal Stadium. At the old Royals games, they'd walk around, and that's what they'd serve the beer up. That's what got me into it. And then I think just like everybody else in the 90s and 2000s, it just kept booming and booming and booming. And every year I ask myself, is this when the bubble bursts? Because, every other industry you see at some point, right? But the beer just keeps going.
People are going to keep drinking. So
I think the big thing, and I'm going to ask you this one, is it because anybody can get in? Is it because there's always another math nerd, chemistry nerd that says, I'm going to start the business up and I'm going to make a good beer?
Well, that's an interesting question, because I have a lot of brewer friends.
And they're all nerds.
And they're a lot of smart guys, but they're definitely not in it for the money.
No, but I think that's what I mean is there's always new people coming in.
But you know what they're in it for? It's called craft beer for a reason. They're in for the craft. So being able to, make something that other people enjoy, there's a skill to that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you've had shitty beer before. Let's keep it real. You know what I'm saying?
I've been to St. Louis. I've had St. Louis beer.
Oh, you hating on St. Louis?
Come on.
The barb has been thrown already.
Well, look. I'm from Kansas City, so it's not going to take long. 1985.
That's
But nobody really likes Anheuser-Busch products, do they?
But there's craft breweries in St. Louis.
I'm sure there are.
Oh, bloody! Apparently, we're gonna have to go to do a live one in St. Louis to change your mind. So let me ask you this: what was in your estimation, was your first craft beer?
Maybe you mean that wasn't Boulevard?
Well, no. Even if it's Boulevard, what was
Boulevard Wheat?
Boulevard Wheat. So that was your first thing.
Yeah, I think that might have been my first beer, actually.
Seriously?
I think my first beer was a Boulevard.
What the hell were you drinking in high school?
Well, my brother, who's almost 5 years older, gave me a beer. That was my first beer.
What was that?
It was a Boulevard Wheat.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know how old are you?
I am 43.
Wow. So that Boulevard is 30 years old.
Right, yeah.
So you were 13.
Well, look,
Mom, sorry.
Yeah, that's probably close. I'd say, plus or minus a couple there, yeah.
So I'm 10 years older than you.
Okay.
My first, it wasn't called craft back then.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, is I don't think we knew what that term meant. We just knew, Kansas City has their own beer.
Yeah. I'll go back further, because I think about, we used to drink, like, Michelob. Remember back in the day?
Was Michelob a craft?
But I don't think the term was coined until probably, must have been the 90s.
Now, see, because I think of Michelob as a Busch product.
Yeah, but that's before everybody hated Anheuser-Busch, so there's that. So, but, if I think back to what was, because think about it. When I was in high school, people were drinking Budweiser. My first beer was Coors Light, right?
Right.
To drink a Michelob, that was a step up.
Well, that's a premium.
Because it had the foil on there, and you couldn't twist the damn thing off. So that's how I started. But anyway, so yeah, the podcast is going to be about beer. We're going to talk about some of our history. We're going to talk about some of the brewers in Kansas City, the Kansas City brewer scene. We're also going to talk about some shit that's not even in Kansas City.
I think the beer scene's going to expand. I think
absolutely.
We're going to go beyond Kansas City, and I think the fun thing's going to be is I like beer.
Yeah,
I like some craft beers. But I'm not a beer guy. I mean, in my cup sitting here is actually bourbon.
And don't judge me because I have a Busch Bud Light. Because
I might judge you a little bit.
But you know what? One of the things we're going to do for Nick is, since he's not a super beer guy, we're going to transform him. So every time we do a podcast, we're going to do like some mystery beers. I've got some beers in brown paper bags.
Are we going to play Edward 40 Hands?
We might. So we'll drink some beer. We'll talk about some beers. We'll actually do some. We'll probably go check out Untapped and see what some people say about some of these beers.
I've never done Untapped.
That's another thing we're going to do. We're going to get him on Untapped and get him checking in beers. And you're like a blank slate.
That's
I'm
true.
going to dig it. And
the closest thing I came to Untapped was in the late 90s, early 2000s. It was probably mid-late 90s.
Right.
Do you remember the old Chicago? They had the Beers Around the World tour.
They still do that.
That's the closest thing I ever came to what you do on Untapped.
They still do that.
The analog version, basically.
They still do that.
Is that still a thing?
Yes, it is. And so one of the things we're going to be talking about probably every damn podcast, because it's kind of dear to my heart, diversity and inclusion. Being a Kansas City beer guy in some of these breweries, I'm the only black guy.
Nigel?
Yes, sir.
You're black.
Actually, I'm British. So there's that. So we'll be talking about some of those things. We'll get some guests on talking about that kind of shit. Also, one of the things I really want to do is bring some people, just beer lovers. There's some people in Kansas City that are out of their minds. One of my buddies who we'll bring on, Scott Crans, at one point, if you ever check his Untapped, it's out of control. Gary Monroe. If there's a beer release, they are there. So there's a lot of passion in Kansas City about beer. I'm one of those beer nerds. I'm a beer snob as well. But I think what we're going to do is have some fun and bring you into our little beer world. Because, again, Nick, you're kind of a neophyte, I guess.
Yeah, you can probably say that,
but you just need a coach.
Look, everybody needs a coach.
Put me in coach.
Everybody needs a coach, right?
Put me in coach.
There we go.
When's the last time you had a coach for anything?
I don't want to go back that far.
You don't. You don't.
1993.
What were the coach of what? What were you being?
Baseball,
coached?
volleyball.
Oh, you were a baseball player.
Baseball, volleyball, one of those.
You're a volleyball player.
Volleyball and baseball.
Okay, very nice, very nice.
Mediocre.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: since we're talking about beer, what's your go-to now? What do you like now?
I'm gonna go to a stout usually.
A stout. Do you have a particular stout you like?
I do have a couple of local craft favorites here
in Lisa
that I like. I like the coffee stout at French.
Madam X.
Madam X. Grains and Taps. The Gully Womp.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Probably my two local favorites. I mean, look, who doesn't want a Guinness every once in a while? Like,
right.
You want to eat a loaf of bread or have a beer? I'm gonna have a Guinness.
Well, Guinness is like a meal.
Right. That's what I mean. It's a loaf of bread or a beer.
And it's keto. Is it keto or is it?
No.
Not keto. I think it's
in the anti-keto.
What's the other one? Not keto. It's gluten free.
Is it really?
That's my understanding. I could be lying.
And right here in town we have a gluten-free beer company. You
told me that.
Yeah.
Have you had?
Matter of fact, their office is like 2 doors from your house.
Have you had them?
Yes. You know what? It's a good lawn beer. Like if I'm going to sit on a riding mower and do a couple acres,
right?
Which I don't have. Right, by the way,
exaggeration there.
That's what I'm drinking.
Lawn beer.
Mowing the lawn, I'm drinking that beer.
That's what it tastes like. We'll definitely have to bring those in, and because I haven't had them, and we'll have to try them out and give them a little taste-a-roo and see if we like them.
And I'm looking forward to you bringing some of the guests you're going to bring on. I think that's from my background and my world, I love that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's going to be some weird fuckers.
And I like that we're gonna talk about a little diversity, and we're gonna make people uncomfortable. I love that.
You know, I had this conversation today at my day job, and it's a shame that a certain person at my day job who is in charge of a certain department gets uncomfortable with that sort of thing. It's fucking 2020. Let's keep it real. Everything is for everybody. You know, I have no problem going into a brewery and being the only brown person or whatever. Some people do.
Is that odd?
Is it odd?
Yeah. Does it feel weird?
For me?
Yeah.
No.
Although, I mean,
no.
You're pretty outgoing, gregarious.
Well,
you don't have a problem walking into a crowd and not knowing anybody.
This is how I explain it. I grew up in England. I lived in London for years, which it was, potpourri. When I lived in Ipswich, which is about 60, 90 miles northeast of London, it was me, my brother, and my other brother, and two other girls who were the only black people in the school. Never thought a thing about it. Never thought a thing about it until I came to the States. And so me growing up, I think I had the benefit of not growing up looking at race, right?
So when we talk about it here in the States, we talk about seeing people that look like you.
Right.
And that's a big deal. I mean,
right.
In this very town, we've had that conversation for 18 months, right?
Right.
But what you're saying is you didn't even really notice that not everybody looked like you, or that only 3 other people looked like you.
In England, it was never a thing. It was not. It literally it wasn't until
that's a perspective that's tough for me to understand.
Yeah, but it was a thing when I came. It was a thing when I came over here. But again, I'm over here at 12, so I'm pretty much, figured out or ingrained on how
you were full into angst mode at 12.
Yeah, exactly. So when I came over here, I never even now it doesn't faze me, but I understand how it does faze some people of color to go someplace where they're the only person there. Interestingly enough, when I went to this beer festival in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Fresh Fest, in last August. Went to a symposium, and I guess some cities have issues getting women in breweries. Not here. You go to Boulevard, you go to any brewery in this town, there are women. Every time I go to
just drinking?
They're drinking.
Okay.
They're beer drinkers.
Because I can't think of any female brewers.
Well, there's 2 in Kansas City. There's Bree Burrows, who is calling me. Somebody wants my attention. Somebody's
hitting Nigel up. Oh.
Sorry. I
thought we were going to have a guest. Our first guest.
I should call him back. Steven, I'm doing a podcast, for God's sakes, but he wouldn't know that. But there's Bree Burrows, who is the head brewer at Big Rip in North Kansas City. Awesome woman. And then there's Courtney Service, who owns the brewery.
Is this the hat you're wearing today?
Yeah, Service Brewing. Yeah. That's on Johnson Drive in Shawnee. She's another great brewer. So, but there are plenty of women who drink beer. Have you been to the Boulevard Beer Hall?
Not for a couple years.
Every time I go in there, dude, it's 75% women. Every time.
Their event space is, I think, especially the 3rd floor, especially.
Yeah.
Is one of the best event spaces in the metro.
Well, that's what happens when you get bought out by a giant conglomerate and you get a...
It was like that before he sold. I mean, he built that place before he sold.
No, the beer hall didn't happen until they got sold.
Really?
So you remember where the brewery is, and they have that little small... You do the tour and you end up in that little small bar.
Yeah.
That building next door is a 3-story building.
Yeah.
That's the beer hall.
That came after the sale?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I was
thinking that was right before the sale.
No, that was
when they moved.
No, when Omegang and Duval bought them.
And I like the 2nd floor too. The 2nd floor bar.
Yeah,
you can do 75 people.
That's the beer hall.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
No, it's
I did a March Madness party there once.
Really?
That was fantastic.
That's the one thing I love about Kansas City. The venues, from the smallest ones to the biggest ones, they're all unique. I love to spend a Saturday and go all the way west and just hit breweries all the way back to Lee Summit. It's the most beautiful thing Kansas City's kind of behind the curve when it comes to breweries. I think we're like 45, 50. People are like, oh, it's too many breweries. I'm like, you need to go to Portland or you need to go to.
So how does that compare to other metros then?
Portland, Oregon,
right?
Shit ton of breweries. Boston, shit ton of breweries.
Denver,
a double shit ton. I think Portland has the most breweries per capita in the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can we quantify shit ton?
It's like 50-11.
Okay.
It's a big number. But Kansas City, think about it. Boulevard's 30. Take a guess what the next oldest brewery is.
I couldn't. Up in St. Joe, there's one.
Well, just give me a number. Give me a year. How many years
15.
old? No. 7.
Really?
7, and then there's probably 6, maybe a few 5s. But in the last 2 years, there's probably been 25 breweries or something like that. It's the number where we are right now. It's staggering.
Well, and I think you hit on it earlier the word craft. I think people like that craft, and there's a movement for things that are handmade, things that are done by somebody that that they've worked through the process. I mean, that's why we're seeing all of these. You said 40 some now breweries. We've got micro distilleries happening. There's a couple of new carpentry shops that are making furniture by hand that are killing it in town. So I think there's that crafted thing that people are returning to that. I think people want that. They don't want the stuff that's made in a 500,000 square foot facility. They want something that's made in an old church that was converted into a brewery, right?
Well, think about it. Like Grains and Taps down the street from where we are, was a tap room, and now they're a brewery. Their bar top, that concrete bar top, is built by somebody local.
Yeah, by a maker that's
Brian Smith,
3 blocks. Yeah,
Avero Designs.
Yeah,
and so he also did East 40 in Blue Springs. He did Windshift. There's a bunch of guys who have contributed to building these breweries. Not just the infrastructure, but the design and look. Mac Lampkin, who owns Diametric, he's designed 5 breweries. Pathlight Brewing, that's in Johnson County. That's the latest one he's designed. They're opening in like April or May. So there's all these ancillary. Is that how you pronounce that? Ancillary. So words are hard.
Yeah.
All these things.
I'll be the word nerd.
Thank you.
You can be the beer nerd.
Well, you have to understand when I do trivia, because for those who don't know, I do trivia 2 nights a week, and people will correct me, and I thank them. I don't judge them. Because words are hard. Because sometimes I don't look that shit up. You know what I'm saying? Got time to do all that. And even sometimes when I look it up, I still screw it up. But back to what I was saying, there's a lot of things that are craft beer related in this town that are
and we're going to dig into those.
Yeah, that are not just brewers. I mean, the people who drink beer in this town have some of these great stories, man. I mean, some people are traveling across the world to go experience Oktoberfest. The real, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's probably like this in any community, but we're going to explore, every man. But, some of the things are, off the beaten path, for instance.
But I think that's why those tap rooms are really getting so big. They are now. It's because it's just, you go sit and talk to people and think about the communities that form with all these different tap rooms and beers. It's like the people after a while.
You know what it is.
You know who you're going to see, and they're your friends.
You know what it is. Like when I went to England last year, they call them taverns. It's the neighborhood tavern. That's why Fringe and Grains and Taps and Diametric, they're neighborhood bars.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Windshift, where I work on Fridays and Saturdays, plug. It's... Who would have thought of I-70 and Woods Chapel that would work?
No, and I'm a Blue Springs kid. I grew up there. I never would have thought that.
I see the same people every weekend, plus new people, because people are like, "There's a brewery here," you know what I'm saying? So, and that goes back to there's a lot of people drinking beer, but most people are still drinking regular beer, and there's an dare I say an untapped, segment of the population who don't even know what's in their neighborhood, much less people of color. I mean, as many breweries as there are in Kansas City proper, ain't no brothers up in there, ain't no sisters up in there, ain't no Latinos up in there. You know what I'm saying? But it's one of those things where it just needs to be presented. Hey, this is in your hood. This is cool. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's why we're gonna have some beers with Nigel tours. Okay,
yeah,
I know the words. I just can't say them.
Yeah.
Beers with Nigel
tours. Yeah, we've talked about this. I'm
gonna slide it in until it happens. I'm just gonna keep saying it.
That's what she said. Thank you.
Wow.
I'm here all week. So no, I mean, you're right. I mean, that the beers with Nigel thing has a weird history that we'll get into later, how it all came about. But why not make it a more of a brand? What the fuck, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I know enough people in the beer industry, and really, my passion is I really want to further diversity in Kansas City. That's really what I want to do. That's what I'm passionate about. It's going to happen. We're going to make that shit happen. But it's going to take a.
That's the hook, by the way.
Yeah,
that's where you pulled me in.
Yeah, and that's going to be a concerted effort. Not just for the onus is not on the breweries, even though they have part of that. But it's on everybody to say, hey, how do we do outreach to say, hey, this is a thing in your community. Come check it out. I'm weird. When I go to beer festivals, which I go to a lot of beer festivals, I go to a lot of I've probably been to every brewery in Kansas City, every one of them. And when I go in there and I see a brown person or a black person, I get excited. I'm like, well, how'd you find this shit? Because that's, the minority,
right?
And I want to know their story. One of my favorite when I did last year's a good beer festival at Parkville. That's a very cool beer festival, professional brewers and home brewers. And I saw this group of black people, and I went running to them like, "Oh, black people, we got to take a picture," because you don't see that. It's just it's.
I feel like this is a reverse Blazing Saddles.
Yes, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. So it's cool to see that happen, but there's work to be done in Kansas City and every other. I'm a yacker, so
beer break. Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Can I have my mystery beer?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna do mystery beers.
This is the first beer of Beers with Nigel. Like there is video on YouTube, so people can see this.
Yeah.
But for those that are just listening, this is very clearly a bag swiped from a golf course somewhere.
Shout out
from like 1992.
Shout out to my boy Anthony. I won't give you a last name. Maybe they're looking for you. So here's a brown paper bag.
I'm going to say Loch Lloyd, 1997. Now, do I get to see, or are you going to leave it in the bag?
I don't know. Let's see what's in there. Oh, this is some local shit.
All right, I'm good.
I mean, I can pull it out. That's what she said.
Look, it's always safe.
I'll let you read it.
All right, what do we got here? Oh, this is the service that
yep.
you were just talking about?
Yep.
Rocky Road Rise Up. Flavors of chocolate and coffee. Hey, should I just read this? I'm just going to give you the synopsis.
Sure.
I feel like
go for it.
This is, if you open up your TV guide, this is the show synopsis right here.
Go for it.
Rise Up. Flavors of chocolate and coffee dominate our 7% sweet stout, which is used as the base for many fun adjuncted stouts. I don't know if that fits there. I'm gonna look at the editor and me. I'm questioning their words here. This version features cocoa nibs, marshmallows, and almonds. So it's a milk stout. I'm excited about this one.
You want to crack it?
This is a good. I'm gonna let you do the first pour. It's your show.
No, you do it because
all right. Well, look, I don't want to take over here. I'm already having trouble like being quiet, like not being the host.
Why do you need to be quiet?
Let Nigel have his own show. That's what I keep telling myself. Oh,
that's fine.
That sounded good.
That sounded good. I'm trying to pull it up on Untapped so I can.
Oh, okay, you got to log.
Which one was it?
The Rise Up. I'm doing a bad pour because I'm trying to like be clever and not hit the mic.
Rise Up. What was it? Rise Up what? The
Rocky Road, Rise Up.
Rocky Road. So I'm going to pull that up. See if I can even read it.
I'm going to note here for the record, too, that while this is our first
I've never checked this in, actually.
So we'll see if this actually makes the cut for our first show.
I mean, it should. So this has never been checked in on Untapped. So
now let me ask you a question.
Okay.
You are a beer snob, a beer nerd. You just did what I was going to ask you. Is this like wine? Do you got to take a sniff before you go?
I always,
is there a little swirl? Is there a spit afterward?
You do not.
Do you spit or swallow?
Sir, you do not. You do not spit out the beer. No, I always put my nose in it.
I mean, I got a big schnoz.
Me too. Have you met me?
That's true.
No, I put my nose in it because I want to catch those flavors.
That chocolate hits you hard.
One of the things I've done is I've been a beer judge, and I'm by no means professional, but I've been coached up by some guys who have coached me up on how to taste and do all those things, and so you kind of put your nose in there. And what
I like that.
and ask, what do you get? You know what I'm saying? The nose is fucking ridiculous.
I mean, seriously, I just opened a Russell Stover's.
Yes, and the beautiful thing about it has been sitting in that golf bag, stolen golf bag, and it's not very cold because a stout you don't want it to be cold. You want it to be just So let's taste it. Let's do that.
All right.
Yeah, that's fire.
That's
delicious. That's like candy.
By the way, we just had the holiday season. Yeah. I don't want chocolate pie. I want this beer.
Yeah, that's delicious.
Yeah. I don't know what else. I don't know how else to review.
I'm surprised it's never been checked in. That's weird. We're going to check it in, though, on this show. So
all right, so here's my question.
Okay.
And I've always I have other friends that do the Untapped.
You're going to be my check-in picture.
Why? I was going to give you finger guns, but I was like, Why do I want public record of my drinking? That's always what I ask myself.
Well, this is the thing about Untapped. It doesn't have to be public. You don't have to post it. Like I told you, the only reason I even put it on, because funny story, you can post to Twitter, you can post to Facebook. So when I first got on Untapped, it's on. And every time I was checking in the beer, it was on Facebook. And somebody was like, quit drinking. So I don't post it to Facebook, but I do post it to Twitter.
Well, that shows our age. By the way, we use Facebook.
Well, I use it for promotional things only, unless I go on a good trip. But no, I put it on Twitter because I have a lot of beer followers. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could post to Instagram, but you can't do it. But
give it time.
Yeah, but no, this is a really fucking nice beer.
While we're on that subject,
Courtney, well done.
Can we follow Beers with Nigel on Twitter?
Not yet.
Okay.
I mean, you know what? Hold on. Let me see what's my Twitter handle. Let's go to the tape, Bob.
Okay, so we're gonna get while you're looking that up, I'm gonna just give a little background here.
Okay.
Our backgrounds, we both have media backgrounds. Yours though is in television and broadcast stuff. I'm an old newspaper guy.
Right.
So while I know how to do the interviews and know how to talk, the video stuff that you're gonna edit, you're gonna make that feel. So when we go to tape, that's you.
That's fine. Let's go to the tape, Bob. No, my at in the last podcast I gave my wrong at. It's actually at Woodberry. Can I even read that? Bloody hell.
Do you need to borrow my glasses?
Yeah. Woodberry 1966.
So on my podcast that you were a guest recently.
They're going to find another Nigel.
you gave the wrong shit. You gave the wrong at.
Yes. So what do you think about this beer?
I really like this beer. I mean, I don't know how to talk beer.
But no,
I'm just going to tell you, I like this beer.
Broham.
I like the chocolate.
Broham, this is how you talk beer. Fuck all that about, the nose, blah, 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 blah. Either you like it or you don't.
That's a good beer. I don't know that I would drink 2 of these.
No, of course not. I mean, this is is
like I said. I made the joke about it being pie.
Right.
I mean, this is dessert.
No, and Courtney is very good at doing these styles that are super delicious. Would you want to drink a bunch of it? No, for me, this is more of a share beer, but it's done well.
Yeah, I think a can of this to split with a friend.
And this can is probably, probably over a month old, but it's still lovely.
That's good.
Yeah, because literally when I went and picked up this can, they did, shout out to Courtney Service. So she's been opened. She hasn't been open a year yet. Has it been a year? Well, she wanted to do 100 beers in a year, right?
She wanted to brew 100 beers. That's a lofty goal.
Yeah. Was it a year? I can't. Whatever. I think she did like 130 in less than a year. Just craziness. So they did this when they hit 100 before the year. They had this fall party, and I went over there and got a flight, and it was all these exclusive releases, and this was one of the beers, and man, she kills it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a really chocolatey, rich sipper.
Yeah, no, this is my after dinner pie.
It is. But no, this is my thing when I'm judging a beer, or when I'm talking about a beer. Once you learn the style, this is what I hate about people who are on Untappd and give a beer 1 star. Okay, what the fuck? Unless it's just bad tasting.
Anheuser-Busch.
But
I know, I'm just kidding.
But let's keep it real.
Yeah.
You can go to any city in the world, and Budweiser is exactly the same and exactly what they describe it to be.
Yeah. No, it's not a shitty beer. I just like to give St. Louis crap.
I'm not gonna give it, 3. I'm gonna give it, 2.5 stars. But if there was something bad with it, then I'm gonna give it a shitty rating, right? I'm gonna burp here on. That's what we do on here. We burp.
By the way, I want you to get a little closer to the mic next time.
Oh, my bad. Eat it. That's what you told me to eat it, right?
Yeah, when you got it, I'm like, you got to get up on that mic.
So this is there's styles that I might not like, but if I understand the style guidelines, I'm a fucking weird beer guy because I'm all over the place. I want to know about the hops and the yeast and the malts but if I can go to the style guidelines, I'm like, oh, that's exactly what they describe it to be. That might not be my shit, but how am I going to say it's bad? Because that's not my style.
Right.
That's rude.
So, I will have trouble. I will tell you, I don't like sours.
Oh.
But I know people who love them.
Broham, I'm going to tell you a story. I work there. That's my dude, Tony DiPlacido at Windshift. He does sours. Like Crane Brewing in Raytown, they do sours. They blow, fucking... What are the sourhead shits, right?
Right.
So Tony does sours.
I love sour candies. I just haven't liked the sour beers I've had.
So this has been the thing at Windshift. People come in there, I don't like sours. I'm like, just try this one. He will change your mind. That guy is a master brewer. I'm telling you, easily top 5 beers in Kansas City.
I'm game. I will try anything.
Yeah.
I'm not a big.
That's what I'm talking about. Just try anything. Don't be scared.
I'm not a big wine guy, but
I know. I like me some wines.
There are wines I like. There are wines I don't like. That's my knowledge, right? You know what I mean? We did a wine tasting one time, and the guy brought it. Was like, we had to try 5 different wines in this sitting, and one of them he brought out was a rosé. He's like, I've never had a rosé I liked. He talked me through it, brought me out one, talked me through it. It was incredible. So sometimes you just got to know what you're getting.
You just need to be coached up.
Are you going to be coached up?
Put me in, coach.
Put me in.
I'm ready to play today.
There we go.
Well played.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Well played.
Thank you.
But no, this is some local shit. So funny beer story. So I was in Dallas a couple weeks ago, right? And one of my friends, Stephanie, she's like, "Oh, can you go find this beer?" Blah blah blah. So I'm on Untappd. and I go to this. I thought it was a brewery. Well, no, she told me to go to this brewery. It was in Fort Worth. I'm like, I'm not going to Fort Worth. So I find it at this beer bar. So it's a liquor store, but it has a bar in it. I was like, this is beautiful. Couldn't find the beer. It's a pickle beer, a pickle sour beer.
Ugh. Pickles are the devil's food. I don't know what that cucumber did to you that you need to ruin it.
I do love a cucumber.
Pickles, food of the devil.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's your sidebar. You digress, I know. So, I go to the store, and I'm like, well, hell, they don't have that beer. So, I just pick up some random things. Actually, one of them is in that bag.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So, I get on this. So, I'm on several Facebook groups, beer groups or whatever. And I went on this one group, and I was like, because my girl was like, "Can you find that beer?" I said, "Well, let me see." I was like, "Dallas peeps, who has seen this beer? Can anybody get it for me? I'll send you some local shit from Kansas City." This guy is like, "Oh, I got it. I'll send it to you." He doesn't even fucking live in Dallas. He lives in Denver, and he goes to Dallas once a week, grabs the beer. He's like, "I'll send it to you." So, this is the beer community. So I packed him up one of these from Service Brewing, the Grains and Taps beer. Windshift beer, and another beer, and I shipped it to him to fucking Fort Collins, and he's gonna ship me the beer back. That's the beautiful thing about the beer community, is that
I love it.
It's love, man, and even for breweries, yeah, there's been some shit, some dumbass motherfuckers at breweries that do dumb shit, but anybody walks through those doors, it's all love mostly. 99% of the time, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I think we all want to know. We all want to know what you've done. Like, what's the crazy thing you're working on?
Right.
And like, I'm fascinated by the nerd brewers, like these, mad scientist chemistry geeks that get in there and figure it out. Like, I want to know what's the crazy thing that you're doing. Like I didn't love the taste of the beer, but one of our local ones, Fringe, they did cotton candy beer last year.
It was good.
It wasn't my favorite tasting thing.
I wouldn't. That's not something I would drink regular.
I'm not gonna have more than one.
Well, think about it, Nick.
But
how many great?
But I don't like cotton candy. But you know what? It was freaking crazy.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna go try it, and I'm gonna appreciate that this dude just said, "I'm gonna make cotton candy beer."
When's the last time you had a grapefruit wheat from Fringe?
Last week.
So you that's your jam.
Oh, I love that one. We have a local restaurant owner here who told me one time, and it was on my podcast actually. I had him, and he was describing it. He said, if Gatorade made a beer, it'd be the grapefruit wheat from French.
Yeah. So it's for what it is. Here, get some more of that.
All right.
For what it is, it's good. I don't ever drink it, but for what it
is a near perfect summer beer.
But the beautiful thing about that beer, and this is the thing. That is a gateway beer.
Yes. That's the beer that
if
it gets a lot of people in their door, and it gets them coming back.
And for a guy or a girl who doesn't like beer, here, try this.
Yes.
And that's what Tony's good at, but he does it with a lot of different styles. Like he does a sour. Like somebody was like, I don't like IPAs. Well, try this one. And I'm talking Tony from Windshift. And people are like, oh, that's not like a regular IPA. Well, yeah, he's trying to get you hooked. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and that's I just like do something crazy.
Yeah, like diametric.
Like, look, if you tell me you're doing something crazy, even if I don't think it's my thing, like, look, I hate pickles. Look, I'm a fat man. There aren't many foods I don't like.
You're not a fat guy.
I don't like pickles, but if you tell me you're making a pickle beer, I'm probably going to try it because it's just nuts.
So speaking of crazy, you know what Diametric did for Christmas, right? Did you hear about that? So they did right before Christmas. They did the 25 beers of Christmas.
Oh, good Lord!
So they took 5 beers.
That sounds like I would be really drunk.
So they took 5 beers and did 5 variations of each, and they every 50 minutes they changed.
So like the deconstructed thing with chefs, they were doing it with
just different variations. What a shit show that was! I mean, they've been open a little bit over a year, and they did that. Thank God I wasn't working that day.
When I go there, and I haven't been there a lot, and mainly because I'm lazy, I like to be able to walk to my bars.
There's nothing wrong with that. Grown-ass man.
Yeah, well, but I feel bad. I like to support my local people.
Well, that's why I went and saw Seth today.
Yeah. Every time I go, I like to get a flight. I have not had a beer I didn't like.
They do a good job.
At Diametric.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what other breweries do you like in Kansas City besides like Boulevard? Where have you been?
Well, I've been to the 4 here in Lee Summit, obviously.
Right, because you like to walk.
Because I like to walk. Crane, Martin City.
Okay.
Casey Beer Company.
Okay.
I'm sure there's more you'll name.
Casey Beer Company is underrated.
Here's what I like about Casey Beer Company is it's the craft brewer to me that I know what I'm getting every time I order it, no matter which restaurant or bar I'm at. So like they have it down pat.
So I have a story.
Okay.
Casey Beer. So the first time I went in there, I was like, meh.
And their room's pretty cool too, by the way.
Yeah.
Their event space.
Yeah. So, I fussed about it, but then I realized, okay, they're doing German style beer to German principles. And once I understood that, the last time I went a few weeks ago, I'm like, these are fucking good.
Can I be a Casey dick again?
Yeah.
They're not doing a German beer Anheuser-Busch style.
What beer is Anheuser-Busch doing?
You know what I mean? I mean, it's like, look, every flavor, everything they do is to a certain customer, right?
Right.
So they're never going to do a German beer for a German beer drinker.
Right.
They're going to do a German beer for the white-collar white guy or blue-collar white guy in Missouri.
So did you know this about Casey Beer? All their ingredients are sourced from Germany.
Really? That's incredible.
If you should do
that's probably pricey.
You should do the tour sometime. So you do the tour, you go into their facility where they brew, and they've got these giant murals of the families where they get the ingredients.
All right, I am feeling our first roadshow.
Absolutely. I mean, and they're awesome people. And man, the last time I went there, I'm like, okay, I'm digging it. And it goes back to what I was talking about. Once you understand what style they're doing, then you have a different appreciation as to just going into it and say, well, I don't like that because I don't like the way it tastes. And that's what me being a bitch, the first time I went in there, that's what I did.
Okay.
So my apologies to KC Beer. I love you guys now. Love your show.
All right. I said earlier stout was my go-to.
Right.
I like deep, rich flavors. And that's just been a thing lately, even when it comes to booze and cocktails. What's your go-to?
Ooh. I love a barrel-aged stout.
Oh, yeah.
A barrel-aged stout. But I'm also kind of an IPA guy.
Yes. I like hoppy.
Yes. And, the IPA game right now is fruited and all these adjuncts and that sort of thing.
Adjuncted.
Let's say that twice.
Are we going to have a word of the show? Like a word of the day?
Adjuncted.
Adjuncted.
There's our word of the day. What's an adjunct?
I'm going to look it up. You keep talking.
Yeah. So, no, my style, have you ever had a Hop Stupid from Lagunitas?
No.
Oh, I'm going to bring that on the show.
I've had their beers.
So it's, you know what? We'll save this term for another episode. Most people know what the fuck this is. IBUs, International Bittering Units. So Hop Stupid is supposedly 100. Once you get past 100, supposedly your palate can't detect it. Like there's this stupid ass beer that's 1,000 IBUs. It's dumb, but but Hop Stupid is it's a beautiful hoppy bomb of a beer that
I want one now.
Yeah, you should experience it. The weird thing is though, it used to be only in a bomber, and it was $3.75 at Hy-Vee. And the last time I bought it. It's in a 4-pack now, 12-ounce bottles. Different beer, and that happens. So anyway, go back to pulling up adjuncts. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Yeah.
In brewing, adjuncts are unmalted grains such as corn, rice, rye, oats, barley, and wheat, or grain products used in brewing beer which supplement the main mash ingredient.
Hell yeah. The mash, baby.
I don't know. That makes no sense to me. I mean, like, I understood the words.
You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna take you on a brew day. Yeah.
So, I did a brew day.
With whom?
With a home brewer.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say home, a local pastor brewing in his church.
Oh, I know him.
And so we went on a brew day, the co-host of one of my other shows. We went in on a brew day, and he made the mash and all that. Yeah, it was interesting to watch, but I don't know what he was doing.
We should do one. So most of the guys I know, they'll explain every step, and you can participate. I think at some point, you and I, we're going to come up with a beer recipe, and we'll do a collab.
It's going to be the best damn beer anybody's ever had.
Forever, ever? Speaking of beer, let's go to the golf bag. You ready for the next one?
All right, I'll finish this one up. I'm not a speed drinker.
It's not about speed drinking. We didn't drink that fast. You drank half of a 16-ounce beer. Quit your bitching.
I feel like these are going to be really long episodes.
Why? I mean, why not? Oh, this is a good one.
Either that or we're going to have to do creative editing.
Yeah. Oh, we'll just let it ride.
Oh.
So, look at that.
I saw some dwarves.
there are dwarves.
Look, is this the Disney of beers?
The Disney of for Le Chouffe, which is from Belgium. I discovered this in Dallas. I'd never seen. I love Le Chouffe. This is a cherry chouffe, which is a Belgian ale. 8.5% alcohol, something like that. We'll have to look that up on Untapped. Do we have an opener?
No.
So we've got a cherry chouffe.
This is following the Rise Up chocolate beer
From Service Brewing Local.
That was fantastic, by the way.
Yep. This shit's from Belgium. So we're going international. Up in this bitch.
This ain't just a local show.
We're
going international.
International players.
All right, so we've already talked about we're gonna have a roadshow tour,
right?
Podcast tour. We're gonna go do local brewery.
So yeah, so
look, hey, if you want us to come out to your tap room, your brewery, we can do a little show. We can bring some people. We can have some fun.
Yes.
Lobby to us.
Yes.
Hit us up.
Yes.
Hit Nigel up on the Twitter.
On the tweeter.
I was gonna give his @ but he told me the wrong one and when he was a guest on my show. So now I don't know what his @ is anymore.
There we do. @N Woodberry 1966. That was the year I was born. So we're gonna try this. I've actually had this before.
Does that make you 9 years older than me? I'm 75.
Yeah. You are not 75.
No, 1975.
I was like, bloody hell.
Born. Look, we've had one beer, Nigel. We've had one beer.
Math is hard, man. You're gonna love this beer.
I think I am. Okay, I'm gonna while you're pouring.
Right.
My favorite of the fruity beers, because you talked about there's a lot of fruity stuff happening lately.
Right.
Abita makes a strawberry.
Here, drink that.
Once a year.
Abita.
Abita.
Oh yeah, from New Orleans.
They make a strawberry every year.
Actually, they're not from New Orleans. They're from Abita Springs, which is across Lake Pontchartrain.
Okay.
Which is one of the greatest beer tours ever.
My brother used to wait for them to come out, and then he would hit like Lucas Liquor here in KC and buy them out when it would come in to make sure he got enough.
They actually do a very nice root beer as well, non-alcoholic. Yeah, it's fucking fire.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, this is not beer, but have you had the Uncle Bob's root beer whiskey?
I've had other ones.
It is look. There's nothing fancy about it. It's not a great whiskey, but it is like drinking those old barrel candies.
Oh yeah. That's cool.
It's so good.
That's cool.
All right, here we go.
Put your nose in that though.
Oh man.
When I poured it to somebody else, and they were like,
"That is like cherry pie filling." I'm talking about pie a lot today.
Well, somebody tried to say, well, it's like cough syrup. No,
I don't get that.
No, it's not medicinal. It's like cherries.
No, I don't get that weird medicine. That's like.
That's good. That's delicious. That's cherry.
That's
cherry pie filling.
That's
what that is.
That's easy drinking.
Yeah, for 8.5%.
Like I feel like this is the one that you drink, and all of a sudden you stand up and go, oh, I've had 3 of those.
Did I say it was 8.5%?
That's what I mean. Oh, I had 3 of those.
It's only 8%. It's fine.
No,
you'll be fine.
You're good.
But yeah, it's the average rating on this.
If anybody's worried, we both walk home from the studio.
That's true. I mean, it's on Untapped, obviously it's 0 to 5. It's averaged over. It's 4.3. Just the average
ratings,
just everywhere. Yeah, it's fucking badass.
That is fantastic.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying, son? I'm going to coach you up on some beers.
There we go. I'm good with this.
Because, this is the thing about Kansas City. There's a lot of beers out there, man. There's a lot of really, really good beers.
I want to know everybody's favorite beers, and then I want to drink them.
That's where Untapped comes in.
But I mean, that's the thing. Is like I want to see what does everybody think what does everybody else think is awesome, and then let me try it.
Well, I think every brewery.
So like, I want to meet a brewer and say, "What's your favorite one to make?"
Try doing that at Diametric. They got 24 beers for God's sakes. He's not gonna.
Yeah, but they have like 7 guys too.
They have 4 guys.
All right, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. Never let the facts get in the way of a good story.
Well, there's that. I think for a brewer.
But I'm not just like, what's your favorite one? But like, what's the one that when you are brewing, you're like, I want this beer.
Yeah.
Like, what is that? Because you don't start making craft beer because you have one, you have a flavor you want to hit. That's why you start, right?
Well, funny story. You used to say that. So
because I'm a cook. There are flavors I want to hit.
Yeah. So there's an event every year called Big Brew Day. It's National Home Brew Day around the United States. And so one of the things for the last 5 or 6 years that Boulevard has done has invited ZZ Hops to brew a beer on their premises.
Nice.
Right? And so every year I'll shoot a video, go down there and do a video for the club or whatever. And so the last time I did a video, I think there were 8 or 9 guys who were brewing. What they did, everybody brewed the same beer, and they dumped it into a barrel that Boulevard gave them, and let it set for like 6 months. And it was fucking ridiculous.
Wow.
So when I was shooting the video, I was like, we're going back to asking what sort of questions you ask. I had one question for everybody. Why do you brew? And I'll never forget it. Mac at Diametric, and it based on what they do now, he's like, I just want to explore the styles and go outside the boundaries of those styles. And that's what they do. And I think any brewer has an idea of what they want to do style-wise. They might want to do some classics like a Pilsner or an IPA or a stout, but they also want to, right now, it's the Wild Wild West for ingredients. So any brewery you go to these days is going to have all these extravagant things. Now there's some breweries out there that do those extravagant things. I mean, there's a Mexican lager at Diametric, one of my favorite beers.
But that's a good, nice beer.
Now, for you who doesn't get out because you can't walk, there's that. At Stockyards,
I can't.
Stockyards,
why would I?
Stockyards, Cerveza Royale. So it's a Mexican lager, so ridiculous, so delicious, so simple. Anytime I find that, they had it at the Hy-Vee over here. They'll give you the 25-ounce mug. I'm like, sign me up for that. So there's breweries out there that do just classic styles. Like my dude Nolan is opening Transparent Brewing down by Gale's Harley Davidson. He's doing session beers. You know what a session beer is?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
So session beer is low ABV. You can drink 3, 4, 5 of them and drive your ass home. It's a sessionable beer.
Okay.
So it's not. So he's going to do things that are low ABV.
Or we used to call it Kansas beer.
But, yeah.
It ain't wrong.
Kansas has changed.
It's true, but it used to be.
Yeah, true. So those breweries, because this is the deal. Yeah, you can do all these things with the adjuncted beers.
There you go.
But most brewers will tell you, if you can do a Pilsner or a lager, if you can do it well, you're a good brewer. Because you can't hide shit. Because there's nothing in it.
Are many people doing? I mean, are there very many that just I'm going to make a good lager?
Absolutely.
Or is there just not a market for that? Really?
There is a. This is the thing. If you come into a brewery and you're a Budweiser guy, it happens all the time at Windshift. What's the lightest beer you have?
Right. Yeah.
That happens. So you have to have something that's going to get the masses excited. But I mean, at least for me, I like all the fun things, blah blah blah. But a lot of times, I'll be like, okay, just give me that lager, Well,
and I asked, so like, I do a lot with Downtown Lee Summit and volunteer for their big Downtown Days Festival. And we always, every year, it's when we're trying to see which distributor is going to supply our beer. And, we always think it's fun to have all the craft beers, but man, you get some people that are like, I just want a Bud Light.
And that goes back to my point that I said a little while ago. Most people are not craft beer drinkers. That's a small segment.
And I think there's a lot of people who just, why do I want to change? I know what I want. I want this.
Bro, when I was in England last year, I was just taking trains everywhere, walking around, finding breweries. Lo and behold, I see this dude with a suitcase of Budweiser. Even in England.
Why?
Not everybody.
I don't like him.
Not everybody knows.
That's true.
Not everybody knows.
That's true.
I mean, if you took 10 of your friends, that's probably not a good idea. Because most of your friends would drink a craft beer.
Yeah, that's true.
And probably most of mine would too. So there's that. So never mind.
No, okay, all right, but like I'm gonna say this. So my side of the family, my family are not big
the crazy
beer
side.
drinkers, right? We grew up Mormon, Independence brand of Mormons. Right?
Seriously?
So not a lot of beer.
Seriously?
Yeah, Independence brand. So, but my wife's side of the family, they all like beer. But it's funny. So I will tell you now which members of the family will be bringing which beer to every family gathering. Like there's one. He brings Coors Light every time. Coors Light. My father-in-law, Busch Gold Tops.
Okay.
Every time.
That's fair.
There's another set of people, they're going to bring Bud Light every time. I mean, it's just like some people, they have this is my beer. This is what I drink. I drink, what are you giving me?
Right. I'm like,
what's on tap?
Right. What do you have?
What's on tap?
Right. What are my choices?
Right. Yeah.
Now, if all I have.
No, I gravitate lately.
Yeah.
I've gravitated to the stout and the rich flavors, but I like other things.
If all I have is Bud Light to drink, I'm going to drink it. I'm not going to be happy about it.
Whatever.
Look,
there's a time for a Bud Light.
Yeah.
Look, you want to throw a lot down one night? You want to get it on? There's nothing wrong with Bud Light.
I wish that was me, sir. I'm the guy. I'm looking at the board. I'm like, ooh, there's a 14%er. Give me that. Stupid.
Yeah. But I mean, look, if you know, all right, you're at the lake for a weekend and you know it's going to be a whole lot of beer drinking.
Have you met my friends?
That's true. All right. Bad analogy. Bad analogy.
The last time we were on Lake Lotawana, which is a lake here in Lee Summit. Boy, it's actually Lake Lotawana. The last time we were on the lake.
It's its own racist subdivision.
So.
Sorry. Did I say that out loud?
You did.
All right.
It's
not wrong.
Chris, the guys Bob and all those guys.
Right.
Hey, we're going to meet on the boat. Let's bring some beers. You think they're bringing Bud Light? No, it's a bottle shit show share of all these big-ass bottles.
That's true.
It's always a bad idea.
Well, and last year we were at Lake of the Ozarks 4th of July weekend every year. So last year I made a giant, the big igloo coolers? Our buddy Seth gave me a Revolutionary War era cocktail mix that I made big batch of.
Nice.
We called it Freedom.
But it didn't free you.
For every shot you take, a red coat falls.
Hold on, man. I'm British, motherfucker.
Sorry.
That's rude.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, whatever.
Sorry, not sorry? Is that the hashtag? Sorry, not sorry?
No. You're a refugee. You know that, right? Squatter.
Yeah, I'll take it.
That cracks me up. People are like, oh, it's in our country. No, you stole it pretty much.
Well, yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
No, well, I'll own that.
Well, at least you will.
Yeah. No, I'll own that.
Not to go political.
No. But,
yeah, that just cracks me up. I'm like, America. No. You stole this motherfucker.
Yeah.
If I come to your house, and you're on vacation, and you come back and I'm there, or maybe you're just there and I just kill you.
Wow.
Does that make me...
Now you're getting dark. Why is it always about race with you?
No, it's about squatting. It's about the squatters.
Right.
I got squatters' rights. You can't move me out. You weren't here. Pay my light bill.
So anyway,
bloody hell.
I drank down a lot of red coats over 4th of July.
You did. How many minutes are we in?
Well, I think we're about 50.
50?
Yeah.
If it's any consolation, so the podcast I listen to, not Beers with Nigel because I haven't listened to it yet. Drinking Partners, there's just 90 minutes, easy. And I listen to the whole fucking thing every time because it's so fucking ridiculous.
Well, I think this is something to be said for two guys just having a lot to drink while we talk, and we're gonna have some cool interviews.
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to that part of it. And we're gonna do some tours. We're gonna meet some brewers.
Yeah.
We're gonna meet some drinkers.
Yeah,
we're gonna meet some people that just hang out in the industry.
I think this is one. I think this first episode is a keeper, though.
All right.
I mean, why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Well, we've only had 2 beers.
We got one more to go.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
We go. Bloody hell, mate. Do I need to? Dude, you can walk home.
Look, I'm not drunk enough to start doing my fake British accent.
You can do it anytime, mate. You know what I'm saying, mate?
I mean, I've got booze in this one, and then we're on our second.
You've been nursing that motherfucker right there.
Well, I kind of knew what was coming.
Did you?
I knew what was coming.
You did.
Well, I knew you had beer.
I could have brought 3 Bud Lights.
I know you better than that.
Touche.
Look.
Touche. I'll do some editing and it'll be fine.
It'll be fine. Look, I'm excited. I'm excited about this. I love doing podcasts. I like talking to people.
The only podcast
you've got a great idea. We're gonna drink beer, but we're gonna meet some people and have some fun.
And we're gonna talk about some good shit.
Yeah.
I've only been on one podcast.
Really?
That's yours.
Didn't you start a podcast out of City Hall?
That was John. No, I was. I recorded it. It was John doing his thing.
Well, that was no fun.
No, actually, it was actually. If you go,
I know, but he's my friend, so I don't want to give him any credit.
Yeah, that was actually a good thing.
Look, you're not supposed to be nice to your friends, are you?
You know what?
Okay, John. Fine, you did good.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That was my dude. We did more shit than
Yeah, we have until we both decided to go out on our own.
Right.
We never worked together, but we have been friends and in the same industry since college journalism in the 90s.
11 years.
11 years.
No. 11.
Well, I can't do that.
You can. 11.
11?
11. 11.
Is that unleavened bread? There we go.
Is that better? So 11 comes from, and I'll have to tag my buddies Mark and Ryan.
That's a shit ton.
Kind of. So there was, so you remember Richard Pryor?
Oh yeah.
Right. So there was this whole skit where his son wanted to go out, and he's like, "Be home by 11:30." Dad, 11. This shit's not happening until 12. Be home by 11:30 and bring me a paper.
Now, see, I am at the tail end of Gen X, so I saw kind of getting older Richard Pryor, the end of his career.
What you need to do, and
I saw the Richard Pryor, Gene Wilder movies.
Fucking
Stir Crazy was Stir Crazy. Stir Crazy
great movie.
Is the first time I went. The first really funny movie that I remember.
That's a great movie.
Like that's the comedy
Yeah, those were great movies, man. I mean, towards the end of his life, he was on some bullshit.
But he got disappeared, then he came back and did some bullshit.
Well, fucking cocaine's a hell of a drug.
and let's be honest, there were a lot of those guys then that were hilarious when they were doing cocaine.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they weren't so funny when they sobered up. I'm not saying that's a reason to go do cocaine. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I wouldn't vote for cocaine.
That's probably not a good idea.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends that went to school and trained to be chefs, and then they're not chefs anymore. And the main reason they don't want to do cocaine.
Well, my buddy who trained to be a chef, he hated New Orleans, and that was his first assignment. He hated it.
Really?
Yeah, but he's a great cook.
I love New Orleans. I've only been a couple times. But
He does one of the best grilled cheese ever. He does grilled cheese with tomatoes on it.
That sounds fantastic.
Hello.
Does he live here?
No. Mark, where you at?
Are we doing a cooking show? Can we change this?
We're gonna do a segment.
Grilled cheese with Nigel.
Well, I just got not Instapot. I tell you, I just got a
air fryer.
Yeah, it's just about to go down in my house, son.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna have a party. We're gonna do it the kitchen gadget party. You're bringing your air fryer. I'm bringing the Instant Pot.
I don't know anything about the Instapot, but I know people who have it. They swear by it.
Oh, I'm an evangelist, man. I've got 2 of them.
You're Instapotist.
I don't know what that means.
No, you're an apologist for
that. No, I am.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
I've done 2 meals in the last week where I've used both of them.
You have 2 of them.
I have 2.
Wow.
Yeah. I know, it's nuts.
Double barrel and shit.
Yeah. Look, double-fisted ain't just for drinking.
Oh.
Hey!
That's what she said.
Ooh, I don't know if that's a good thing.
Well, I mean, it depends on the context.
It's true.
Bloody hell. So we're gonna.
Is that the headline for the first show? Bloody hell.
No, it's gonna be like, what the hell?
Yeah.
We're gonna drink this last beer before we wrap this up.
Okay.
So, going back to the next time, I'll probably just bring 2 beers.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a 3-beer show every time. People might think we have a problem.
Well, it's a show about beer and other things.
Well, that's true. That's a little sexual.
So this beer is from Dallas. So there's a story behind this beer, right? So I went to Dallas because my mother would kill me because she's like, bring my granddaughter down here. So I go to Dallas, hang out with my brother.
She doesn't want to see you. She wants to see the granddaughter.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
She gave her $100. So you give me shit. So go to Dallas.
Well, you're a grown-ass man.
I'll take some cash. Really? Every now and then.
Yeah, that's true.
So we're in Dallas. I wanted to go to this one brewery because one of my Facebook groups like, you need to go to this brewery, but they're having like an anniversary event was ticketed for $40. I'm like, fuck that. So I was like, I get on Untapped because that's what you do. Next closest brewery is. Can I even read that shit?
All right, here you go.
Oh, Celestial.
There you go.
Celestial. Next time I'm bring readers. Celestial Beer Works. So my daughter, who's 17, we roll up in there. She's never been to a brewery.
So you're corrupting the youth of America.
Pretty much.
Okay.
So going to the brewery, I get a flight, get her some water because they ain't got any soft drinks or whatever. And they were really good. It was a nice little brewery. And so I was like, let me take some shit home. And if you look at this can, it's called Gold
It's a
Leaf.
cool looking design.
It's Imperial Stout brewed with it's an experimental yeast and vanilla.
That sounds like dirty.
10%.
And like somebody needs to go to the doctor. Look, if you've got an experimental yeast problem, you need to see a doctor. Oh, and speaking of which, we got like maybe a little geisha girl on top. I don't know.
Yeah, what is that? It's a kind of cool can design.
No, actually, I'm gonna say that's more. It looks more maybe Spanish.
So the nice thing about that brewery, they had all local art on the walls, which is kind of cool.
That looks really cool.
So shout out to Celestial.
An Imperial Stout. Oh, this is gonna be good.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
no, you crack that
You want me
motherfucker
to do
open,
this
man.
one? All right, hold on. Let's get that close.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
Cup. I really shouldn't pour that over the MacBook.
Over the, I mean,
look, Apple products ain't cheap.
No, I said this. I know.
And look, I don't work for a public entity. I don't get free stuff.
That shit ain't free. I got. There's some drama behind that shit. Trust me. You want a what? Is there something left in there?
Oh, there is. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't.
Hold on.
All right.
A little bit left. Hey, cheers to the last beer, my brother, and the first podcast.
Hey, thank you for this idea. This is a good idea. I'm excited about this.
No, thank you for having the wherewithal and the fucking tools to do it. I mean, that's the thing.
This is easy. This is the easy part. This is fun. Oh, that good Lord.
Yeah.
I just did a little schnoz first.
Yeah, a little schnoz.
Yeah.
So this one is more of, it's kind of a coffee. You kind of get that kind of that bitterness at the end. You know what I'm saying?
I like that after the cherry.
Yes.
Actually. So it's almost like you planned.
Imagine you put some of that cherry with that.
Oh. Look, okay.
You know what they call that?
The mashups.
Cuvée.
Cuvée.
We're keeping it motherfucking French in this business.
I love it when some of those tap rooms will do the cuvée.
Cuvée, yeah.
I feel like I want to say it dirty. I want to get all dirty with it.
I have to give a shout out to, because I had never heard the word cuvée, and I was listening to the drinking partners, and they kept talking about cuvée. I'm like, what the fuck is cuvée? Well, they would dump a couple of beers together. It's a mixture. It's cuvée. That's all it is.
All right, so you're going to bring 2 beers next time.
Yes.
I'm going to bring, our next episode, I'm bringing something we're going to have a cuvée.
Okay.
I'm bringing a couple. I'm bringing 2 things in. We're going to mix it up.
You said I'm bringing a couple. Did I get to know their names?
No. We're doing it New Orleans style. You're not going to know.
Bloody hell. So, yeah, this gold leaf is good.
Maybe my version of New Orleans style is different than yours.
I mean, you never know.
I like that. Mm-hmm. That's a nice finish. After the cherry.
Because it's kind of that bitter chocolate, which I like.
And it's gonna be snobby sounding, but it's just a hint of the chocolate. Where that first chocolate we had
is
was in your face.
It was all in your face. Take it to the face.
In the face. See, that's the problem with you have a few of these. There's going to be no context to us just throwing out references.
But you know what? This is the beautiful thing about it. So my girl, Shalonda, Afro Beer Chick, she just did she's on 2 podcasts.
She just followed me back, by the way. Has no idea who I am. I followed her. She followed me back.
So her first podcast, so we were cracking up on Twitter. She was like, I can't believe I got that drunk. Because they were doing they did this double barrel thing from fucking, what's that brewery in Chicago? What I forget the brewery. Goose Island. But
yeah.
It was this stout that was barrel aged twice, 14%er.
I'm already in love.
That's what I'm saying. And she was like, so she was like, sorry, I was drunk. I'm like, no, I thought her first podcast was great. I was impressed by her husband. Had no idea he was in the beer game like that. So we're gonna have to cuvée with them.
There we go. Well, you know what? We will do that.
Yes.
And even if we can't make it to Chicago for the first cuvée with them,
no, we're gonna go to Chicago this summer.
The technology will bring us all together.
But no, we're going to Chicago.
We're going to Chicago.
We're going to Chicago. That's too easy.
It's too easy.
Get on the train? Are you kidding me?
Get on the train. By the way, I may or may not have already looked up that train cost. A couple $100 we're there.
Like round trip?
I think so, yeah.
That's fine. Or we can Southwest, probably $75.
Yeah, this is the thing. KC to Chicago, that's like 20-minute flight.
Yeah.
Maybe a little longer.
It's kind of rude.
I mean, you go up, you go down. That's what she said.
Phrasing. So
I like that in your podcast, I'm free to do all that. On my podcast, I have to rein it in.
Well, welcome to 2020, motherfucker.
There we go.
So this is the first episode of Beers with Nigel, a podcast about beer and other things. We talked about a random bunch of shit. Apparently, I'm supposed to edit this down.
I think it's going to be really long if you don't edit it.
Okay. I'm going to shout out my boys, the drinking partners. They don't give a fuck about editing.
That's true.
Because if it's
That's
funny,
on my list now. I'm going to go listen to that this weekend. I haven't
you
listened.
should.
You told me about it. I'm going to listen to that.
Dude, they're 240 episodes in, dude.
Wow.
Ridiculous.
That's crazy. I am nearing, so in 2 weeks, my podcast, I'll have hit number 300.
Oh, shit. Really?
Yep.
Damn. You a OG. There's an OG in the house.
Something no one has ever said about this basic white guy.
No, the original gangster on your fucking own podcast.
300 episodes.
Are you doing it every week?
Well, it started out that way, yeah, but now it's 3 episodes a week.
3 episodes a week?
Yep.
Your wife lets you do that?
Well, look, I'm married rich. I'm married a teacher, Nigel.
Oh!
So I get to do whatever the fuck I want.
Bloody hell,
look,
mate.
if you want to be an entrepreneur, you got to marry rich. I married a teacher.
Teachers, yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
And that's 300 episodes.
Yeah, no, it's
fucking strong.
It's a good feeling. It's fun to do. We're having a blast. And now it's going into a network.
Now you know why I got you involved, because I'm like, you got the chops though.
Well,
fucking OG.
Well, I got chops. I can eat a lot.
Maybe we'll have some chops on this show.
Probably will.
Yeah,
we're gonna have some cool people on this show.
You know, I'm not cutting any of this shit out, right?
Probably not. Probably not.
You have. Look, this is the thing. Everything goes.
I'm good with that. Look, the best conversations. I have done this 300 episodes. I've been a reporter for 20 some years. I don't want to think. I math too hard. For how long?
It doesn't matter.
There's nothing better than just sitting down and having a real conversation
and drinking some beers.
That's
the part I'm gonna love about this. I am exposing you to things you've never seen. Welcome to the world of beer.
I've had a lot of beer, but I've never thought about beer.
Well, that's the
okay. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. It's like I just drink beer.
So this is what I want people to take away from this. I want the motherfuckers who know about beer to be like, yeah, he's half right, and the other half be like, all right, I didn't know that was a thing.
But I love the idea that it's like a community.
Yes. No, the beer community is fucking lovely. Like I said, my main goal is to, fucking talk beer, fucking live beer, and expose more people to the fucking craft, because it's a fucking craft. Because everybody that I know in the beer community is nothing but motherfucking love, dude. When I show up at a brewery, it's fucking love. Now, granted, I'm a celebrity. No, I'm fucking joking.
You're an ambassador.
I'm an ambassador.
We had this talk when you were on my show. You're not a celebrity. You're an ambassador.
I haven't signed no autographs and ain't planning to,
But you are an ambassador.
No, I'm just passionate about the fucking beer community, and I want to be able to fucking, just further it in Kansas City, because, like I said, everybody I know in this town, fucking lovely.
Well, you say that about the city, but I think what drew me in is that it's really beyond that. I mean,
sure. At first,
really, what brought me in though was that you told me the story. You went out to Pittsburgh to this big convention, and you started talking about diversity in the industry, and in the community, and that drew you in. So we're gonna talk a lot about Kansas City, because we're in Kansas City, and Kansas City is awesome. Kansas City is the best kept secret in the whole damn country.
Yeah.
But it's going to go beyond that. It's going to go beyond that really, really fast, because there's so much out there, and the beer community is that much bigger.
And I hate to quote John Bedoin.
Ah, damn it.
But he always says,
damn it,
all politics are local.
That's not his quote. He doesn't get credit for that. And look, I love that man.
He said it to me.
I love that man. He is my brother.
But it's true, though.
But that's not his quote.
Whoever said it.
Damn it.
Whoever said it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it is. I mean, we start local, and then we head out.
It's true. So the show that I have 300 episodes coming up. It is about local politics, and there's a line we say in there almost every week.
What's that?
You have the ability to affect more change in your backyard than you do anywhere else.
That's real talk. That's real talk.
Everything's local.
I mean,
make it local, make it real. But we're going to talk about all sorts of things.
If you want to change the world, change yourself first, bitch.
Yep.
Did I call you a bitch?
Can I break into a little Michael Jackson, little Man in the Mirror?
I'm looking at the man in the mirror.
I wanted to grab myself and do a little leg twist there.
Whoa, that's Kama Sutra shit sounding.
Kama Sutra and Michael Jackson. What's the difference?
Yeah. Hey, kids, thanks for listening. This Beers.
Oh, that's how we're ending in?
Yeah, that's how we're going to end. That went sideways. That's what she said.
Wow.
None of this is getting cut. Because it's real shit, though. All
right.
This is what happens when you drink 10%ers.
Okay.
Anyway.
We are the 10%ers.
Yeah, pretty much. We're going to do this again. The next time we're going to have a guest. She's special to me. 11-3 KC, Alana. She's actually going to be the first guest. But this shit is going to get posted because it should be.
Yeah.
It's real.
Two dudes fumbling through a podcast.
First time for everything.
And
you're the professional. What the fuck?
Well, you know.
300?
300.
I've been on one podcast. It's yours. Good night, everybody. Drive safe.
Peace.